which you are ma'am. My name is Ashish and today I am here to present upon the topic industry analysis of the alcoholic industry. A short backstory as to why I chose this. Actually, to be very honest, I wanted to go for the space industry, being exciting and new, but I've been in this industry for 5 years and I know the dynamics of this industry are pretty new and you can say challenging. Unlike any FMCG, transportation, petroleum, banking, textile, dairy or cosmetic industry. So I hope you guys will like it and hop into this industrial visit that you will be getting now. To ease your understanding, we have divided the presentation into two parts, micro level and macro level. Starting with the macro level first. And before we start, I want to set up the boundaries as to what I am covering in this presentation. Alcohol, as we all know, is used for consumption, but it is not the only use. It is used for making sanitizers, cosmetics, and recently it is also used in mixing in petroleum, which is of course not covered in this. We are only covering alcoholic beverages. Starting with some historical background, the oldest scripture which is being found in the Hindu scriptures is the evidence in Shiv Puran, where bhang is mentioned as it is still a prominent drink in Hindu mythology. As for the modern evidence, the Chinese in 7000 BC had found earthen pots which have left fermented drinks in them using honey, rice, bajra and wheat. As to the next part, we are moving towards the environmental outlook. That is where the difficulty came in this industry. Unlike any other industry, this industry is heavily monitored by government. As you can see, the tax part is taken care by Department of Excise, Entertainment and Sales Tax. Government bodies, there are 3 government bodies that influence, and emphasis on the word influence, that influence this industry, which is the Ministry of Human Development, the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Consumer Affairs. The quality assurance part goes to the FSI. As for the licensing part, the taxation authority gives the license for this industry, which is 35 licenses. If you are including the foreign part as well, there are 14 licenses additionally required and 13 permits to make this business happen, and which makes this business the entry barrier quite complex. Next part, we are coming to the current state. Put emphasis on the graph. First of all, the consumption pattern in each year is increasing. I would like you to please keep this graph in the mind because it will be helpful in the coming slides. Secondly, the GDP contribution of this industry is $554 billion, which is 0.01%, but still a major amount is there. As for speaking of the highest consumption rate in India is Andhra Pradesh, which is quite contradictory to the fact that the highest age required for drinking is 25, which is Andhra Pradesh is also one of those states which has adopted that age limit. At the same time, the highest consumption is there. In the worldwide perspective, we are coming towards the Belarus, which has 98% of its population consuming alcohol actively. Now coming to the micro level part. Before we come to the macro level part, there are 2 types of consumer that we have to understand: drunkards and buzzers. Drunkards are those people who are basically addicted towards alcohol and cannot live without it, or you can say feel uneasy without it. Buzzers are basically the people who are collectors or drink alcohol for the buzz factor only. Buzz factor is basically a nerve that goes behind the head, which basically after drinking alcohol vibrates and gives us a sensation feeling. Coming to the next part. Now we are talking about the macro aspects. Marginal utility. Of course, if we are talking about a drunkard person, the marginal utility factor for him is much higher than a normal person. He may stop drinking only when he will start to vomit, or like his body is trying to answer that no, we cannot take it anymore. The utility factor is really high. And if we talk about the buzzers part, if there's a bottle which is limited edition and a collector wants to buy it, he will buy it at all costs. Supply, when we talk about supply, is monitored by the government highly, because if they want higher taxes, they ask the retailers to increase the market inflow of these alcohol, and supply part increases. At the same time, if not in Delhi, but if you go to the outskirts part and you will find a specific bottle, you may not find that because the supply is limited. Now, blessing in disguise. I have deliberately keep this word hidden to put this thing into context. I would like to keep emphasis on this part. This is a non-alcoholic drink provided by Johnny Walker. A print rate of this drink is 100 rupees, but at the same time, its manufacturing cost exactly is 37.5 rupees. What happens is that that Johnny Walker deliberately keeps its stock price high so that they can distribute this for free and show these in as a loss or an advertisement expenses, and put this as a cost which basically reduces their taxability. And I would like you to answer me this question: what concept of economics is used here? Can anyone tell me? Implicit cost, because the actual cost is 27 rupees, but the remaining part is actually hidden cost, which is created by the Johnny Walker brand. Type of market, now we're talking about if we see about the market part here, the tenders that distributed by the government is on area basis, which is on the set of 25 to 35. So a particular brand enjoys a monopoly in particular region. As I'm speaking of the eastern Haryana part, J-Town Wines is enjoying monopoly in Faridabad, Haryana, and Faridabad, Gurgaon, and Rewari, sorry. And as we go to the eastern middle part, the V&Y Limited takes over. But if we take it as a whole on the brand level, it's a monopolistic market. Everyone has the part here. Now talking about the elasticity, really interesting part. Elasticity of price elasticity. First of all, everyone knows that elasticity, the price of alcohol increases every year with the tax, like with every new budget that includes increase the tax of these alcohol. The price elasticity of this is minus 0.5%. But at the same time, I've showed you in the last graph, consumption is increasing as a in whole. Can anyone tell me why? Anyone? Come on guys, you can answer me. Because there are new customers entering in the market every year, and also that is taking this thing as in a whole, because consumer can go to an inferior product at that time as well. Now moving on to the interesting part, the advertisement part. No one can advertise upon this in full-fledged manner. I'll show you some kind of ad that they put on. As you have seen, no mention of alcohol here, yet it is already a thing that it is alcohol brand that happens. Segregated advertisement is the thing it is called, and that they cannot give direct advertisement in the market. They have to use hidden methods to do it. So with these kind of advertisement, can anyone tell me what is the advertisement elasticity of these brands? I will not answer this. I will not answer this. Can anyone tell me? Come on. Easy question. Okay, you can look into this. So that's wind up my project, and this is pretty much it. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much, everyone, for being such a great audience. My name is Ashish. You have been a great audience. Thank you so much. Signing off.
Thank you.